Hello again everybody, it's Mel from Stocksbridge Guitar Tech, here with another lesson for you today. I'd say this is another intermediate lesson. I'll do some other beginners lessons shortly, but anyway, today I'm going to be looking at diminished chords and showing you some diminished chords and explaining a little bit about how you can use them. A lot of people get confused with these diminished chords, but they're actually, apart from being very useful, they're quite easy to learn. They're not difficult chords to learn. So I'm going to split this lesson into two parts. So I'm just going to show you one shape you can use on the highest 4 strings today, and then in lesson 2, part 2 rather, we'll have a look at how you can form these diminished chords using the low E string or the 5th string as the root, as the bass note. So let's dive in, let's have a look at these diminished chords. So this diminished chord I'm showing you today, I'll just show you the fingering for this chord. We use all 4 fingers, and we're going to place the index finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret, which is an E. Then we're going to place the 2nd finger on the 2nd string, also in the 2nd fret. That's a D flat or a C sharp, whichever you prefer. Now the ring finger, going to place that on the 3rd string in the 3rd fret. So 3rd finger, 3rd string, 3rd fret. That gives us a B flat. So far we've got E, B flat and D flat. And then the 4th finger goes on the 1st string, the high E, also in the 3rd fret. So that's a diminished chord. That's what it sounds like. Now the magical thing about this chord is, if we were playing a normal, for example, bar chord, like say F, I'm playing an F major bar chord, as soon as we move that chord, it changes, it's a different chord. So if I move this up 3 frets, it's no longer an F major, it's now an A flat major or G sharp major. If I move it up another 3 frets, it's now a B major. So each time we move, we change the chord and thereby change the key that we're playing in. Because if we were playing in the key of F major, an A flat major wouldn't sound too good. But with these diminished chords, once we've got that shape down, we can move this shape up or down by 3 frets, and it's the exact same chord. So if we move this up now, 1, 2, 3 frets, and play it there, it's the same chord as that one. If we move it up another 3 frets, it's the same chord. And again, move it up 3, the same chord. Now the reason for that is, and this is the only chord that works on the guitar in this way, which is why these are magical chords. We have 4 notes in the chord. We have E, B flat, D flat and G. And if we move that up 3 frets, we've got the exact same 4 notes, E, B flat, D flat and G, just in a different order. So here now we've got G on the bottom where we had E before, we've now got G. And then we've got a D flat, which was here before. Then we've got E, which was here. And then we've got B flat. So we've got the exact same 4 notes, just in a different order. So we've got E, B flat, D flat and G. Same as here, E, B flat, D flat and G. And it's the same if we move up 3 again. We've now got B flat, E, G and D flat. And it's the same if we move up 3 again. We're just changing the order of the notes. So now we've got D flat, G, B flat and E. And then if we move up 3 again, we're back to where we started here, but an octave higher. So what that means is when we're using these chords, we could use any one of those 4 shapes and it will fit. Now you'll often find these chords used to transition from one chord into another. They very often, in fact more often than not, they'll follow the 4 chord in a key. So in the introduction I was playing in G major. So the 4 is C. The 5 is D. But what I was doing, I was going from G major to B major to C major, which is the 4. And then from this 4 I was going to this diminished chord and then back to the 1. So I was using it after the 4 chord to get me back to the 1. I could just have easily used it to get me from the 4 chord to the 5 chord. So they're very useful as a transition chord to get you from one chord to another. And like I said, they're very often used after the 4 chord to either get you back to the 1 or up to the 5. Now the other thing is, this chord is really 4 chords in one, because we could call this an E diminished. It's got an E in it there, we could call it E diminished. But it could also be a B flat diminished, because we've got B flat there. It could be D flat diminished, because we've got D flat there. Or it could be G diminished, because we've got G there. So the same chord, we could give it 4 different names based on the notes that are in it. The trick is knowing where you can use them, what keys you can use them in. So just remember when you're learning these diminished chords, if you think of your pinky finger as being the root, so you make that chord, my pinky's on G, you can very quickly and easily figure out what keys you can use this diminished chord in. So here, pinky's on G, so I know I can use this in G major. And remember, it will usually come after the 4 chord. So G major, the 4 chord is C. So I can use it in G major after the C. Slide it up 3. Pinky's now on B flat. So I now know I can use it in B flat major. And the 4 would be E flat, so I can use it after the E flat. Slide up 3 again, we're now on, pinky's on D flat, so I can use it in D flat major over the 4 chord, which would be G flat. And then finally slide up again, the pinky's on E, so I know I can use it in E major over the 4, which would be A. Now you can use that trick anywhere now on the neck. So if, for example, I was playing here, we've now got a different set of 4 notes. So now my pinky's on G sharp, so I know that I could use that diminished chord in the key of G sharp major, and the 4 chord would be C sharp, so I would tend to use it after that. And again, slide it up 3. Pinky's now on B, so I know I can use it in B major. 4 chord would be E. Slide it up again. Pinky's now on D, so I can use it in D major, where the 4 chord would be G. And then slide it up 3 again. So pinky's now on F, so I know I can use it in F major after the 4 chord, which would be B flat. There are only 3 sets because each one of these diminished chords is actually 4 chords in one. So you times that by 3, you've got 12. So that those 3 sets of diminished chords cover all 12 major keys. So that's it for today. Part 1 of a 2-part lesson there. In the next part we'll look at some more diminished chords and how we can make them using the lower strings. But get your head around those first using the top 4 strings. You will find these chords very useful once you figure out how to use them. So experiment with them. Remember the little tips I gave you. Use the pinky finger as if that was your root. Technically it's not, because in these chords, because they're actually 4 chords in one, all 4 of these notes are actually a root note. They could be a root note. But if you think in terms of that pinky finger when you're using this shape, it becomes very easy, because I know I can use that now in G major. Slide it up 3, I know I can use it in B flat, D flat and E major. So it's a very easy way to remember which keys you can use that particular series of 4 diminished chords over. So I hope that helps somebody out there. As ever, if this video's helped you in any way, please help me out by subscribing and clicking the little bell notification. That way you'll get notified when I upload a new video. That's all from me today. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now. I'll see you for part 2 very shortly.